Now, why would a parent choose a private school over public school? And I think that most parents are looking to give their children the best education they can. Now, private schools cost more, so obviously that, or cost in addition to public schools, which are free. Obviously, that's why they're public schools. But do they benefit the child? And that depends. It depends on the decision and why a parent is sending a child to a private school. Most private schools have a better academic reputation, so that presumably a child would get a better education in a private school than a public school. Maybe for an adolescent, these private schools would be a college prep, or they would have smaller class size and be able to attend to the individual needs of of a child or an adolescent. The private school may have specific programs for children with specific needs. Public school may be too unstructured for a child that may need more structure. One of the downsides, though, and that's for a parent to decide, sometimes private schools are small, and in the smallness they may run from kindergarten to 12th grade. So a parent may feel uncomfortable having their child with either older kids or have their adolescent be in school with younger kids. And many of these prep schools do run the gamut, as opposed to public schools, which usually have a more compressed group of kids. It may be needs for safety. Maybe that the parent lives in a socioeconomic strata or a neighborhood in which the public school they don't feel is safe. I mean, these would all be benefits. The downside, obviously, is cost, and parents would have to pay the tuition, which sometimes can put a strain on family resources, and also socialization. That the socialization aspect, if a child's taken out of their environment and put in with other kids, sometimes they either gain socialization skills by being with kids outside their peer group or their immediate neighborhood, and sometimes they lose it. It depends on really what your child will do best with.
Okay.
I don't know what more to say.
Yeah, no, that's good. What about, would you wind up one more with the same sex, since that's kind of fresh in your mind?
Well, all right, I can tell you what I've written. Let me think what I've written so far. Same-sex education has been debated for years and years. This is not a new debate. Is same-sex education better? Does it provide better academic success for kids? And the research is really ambivalent. Same-sex co-ed education was presumed to decrease the stereotypic gender roles by putting the sexes together. But conversely, it has not only done that, but it really has increased the gender role, then the stereotypic gender role behavior. Boys in co-ed settings have a tendency to shy away from arts or drama, lest they be seen as less than masculine. And girls in co-ed settings have a tendency to shy away from the maths and sciences, lest they be viewed by the boys as being more masculine. There are pros and cons of same-sex education. It works for some kids. It seems to be better academically for girls. It decreases the distractibility that both sexes can provide, but it also decreases the interaction that both sexes need to have when they work outside the school framework. So it really depends on the needs of the individual child. And there is the research or the facts about same-sex education is very open-ended because it depends on each individual child. Some kids benefit greatly from same-sex education. Some kids lose a lot from same-sex education. Right now, it seems that girls benefit more academically and are more inclined to engage in math and science courses. It also doesn't act as a distractibility. Having boys around doesn't seem to, without having boys around, it seems to diminish their need for spending an awful lot of time preparing for school, to look a certain way. Girls are often viewed as sex objects, and it decreases that for girls. It seems to also diminish a certain level of disruptive behavior in one research study for boys, but in others it seems to increase that being with girls for some boys decreases their disruptive behavior. They don't want to appear like jerks because the girls are watching. When the girls aren't watching, then it acts as a disinhibitor. So each child or each group of kids, depending upon their circumstances, their personality, their behavior, their interests, would determine whether a same-sex education would be beneficial.
Great.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap. Paul, thanks a lot
My
for
pleasure. It's great meeting you.
for taking